For years, we thought of AI as this helpful little coding assistant. But in the .NET world, the game has completely, and I mean completely changed. Today, we're going to break down how the latest GitHub Copilot tools are doing way more than just speeding up our typing. They're actually revolutionizing the entire way we build software. And this quote right here, it just says it all. We are moving way beyond simple autocomplete. The new Copilot is an active, what they call an agentic partner. It's with you from the moment you have an idea all the way through to deployment. It's a really fundamental shift in how we work. So here it is. This is the big claim we're going to unpack. When you use it the right way, the whole suite of new Copilot features can literally triple a .NET team's development velocity. Now that sounds pretty bold, I know, but think about what that means for a business. We're talking faster time to market, more room to innovate, and a serious competitive edge. Let's see how this actually breaks down. Okay, so it all starts right at the beginning, in phase 1. This is all about tackling that dreaded blank page problem, right? How do you take a kind of fuzzy idea and turn it into a concrete, actionable plan that an AI can actually understand and build from? Well, this slide shows the huge difference between the old way and the new way. On the left, you've got what we might call vibe coding. We've all been there. You jump straight into the code with some vague requirements, and the code itself ends up being the specification. It's slow, and it is so expensive to change. But on the right, we have a new way that just flips this whole idea on its head. And that new paradigm is called spec-driven development, or SDD. Now, listen, this is not about creating more paperwork or bureaucracy, not at all. It's about creating a really lightweight, shared understanding of what you're building before you write a single line of code. This shared context is basically the steering wheel for your AI agent. So how does it actually work in practice? Well, it's all guided by these 3 simple / commands right inside your IDE. You start with specify to define the what and the why. Then use plan to make your technical choices, the frameworks, the architecture. And finally, tasks breaks it all down into this really clear roadmap that the AI can just pick up and execute. All right, so with a solid plan in place, we can move into the core development loop. This is where most of us first met Copilot, right? But its capabilities now have grown, well, exponentially. At its heart, Copilot is just absolutely brilliant at getting rid of all that tedious, repetitive boilerplate code. You just write a comment describing what you need, and boom, the AI handles the rest. And this is a perfect example. Just a simple one-line comment in C#, and Copilot generates a clean, recursive factorial method instantly. Just think about how much time that saves you across hundreds of little tasks like this. But here, this is where it gets really powerful. The modern Copilot inside Visual Studio, it understands your entire solution, not just the file you happen to have open. It can see your dependencies, your service layers, your data models, and it uses all of that to generate much more complex, context-aware code. For instance, look at this. To generate the data service method you see here, Copilot has to know what a customer is, that a DB context even exists, and how they relate to each other. It pulls all that context from across the project to generate a perfectly structured async method. It's pretty incredible. And the real-world impact of this kind of acceleration is, well, it's staggering. Studies are now showing that AI-augmented teams are seeing a decrease in their lead time to production, that's a key DevOps metric, by as much as 55%. We're talking about cutting the time from commit to deployment in half. Okay, let's move on to quality, because generating code quickly is great. But how do we know it's any good? How do we make sure it's reliable? Historically, writing unit tests has been a massive bottleneck for so many teams. So say hello to the test agent. Now this is not a generic chatbot. It's a specialized AI for .NET unit testing right inside Visual Studio. It knows about your test frameworks, your project structure, even your build process. And that lets it generate tests that actually compile and run. And here's the truly brilliant part. It's an automated cycle. The agent doesn't just write tests and then walk away. Nope, it generates them, it builds the project, it runs the tests, and if they fail, it tries to fix them, and then it repeats the process until you have a solid starting point. The result of this is just a dramatic increase in test coverage. Teams can use this agent to bootstrap their entire test suite and quickly get to 80% coverage, or even higher. A target that, let's be honest, was often a really time-consuming struggle to hit manually. So we're building faster, and we're building with higher quality. But what about security? The great news is that all this new velocity doesn't force a trade-off with safety. In fact, it actually enhances it. And this is all achieved through a philosophy of found means fixed. By integrating security scanning right into the developer's workflow with tools like GitHub Advanced Security, vulnerabilities get caught and fixed almost as soon as they're written. I mean, just look at the numbers on this slide. It's wild. With Copilot Autofix, the median time to fix a vulnerability drops from 90 minutes down to just 28. And for really critical flaws like SQL injection or cross-site scripting, the fixes are 7 to 12 times faster than the industry average. That's a game changer. So when you put this all together, we've accelerated ideation, we've accelerated coding, testing, and security. It really starts to redefine the very nature of what a developer's job even is. And that right there, that really is the central question, isn't it? With AI handling so much of the mechanical, grunt work, what does the day-to-day role of a software engineer actually look like now? Well, let's recap those velocity gains real quick. We're going from idea to spec in minutes. We're automating huge chunks of our coding. We're bootstrapping quality with automated tests. And we're fixing security vulnerabilities at a record pace. Each one of these steps is a multiplier, and when you put them together, that's how you get that 3x effect. But, and this is a really important but, there's a critical catch, and it's highlighted by this quote on the AI productivity paradox. These incredible tools are multipliers. They're not magic wands. They amplify your existing processes. So if your team has a solid foundation, you're going to see these amazing compounding gains. But if things are already chaotic, the AI can actually just amplify the chaos. Which leaves us with this final thought to chew on. As these tools become more and more powerful, more autonomous, the most valuable skill is shifting. Maybe the future isn't so much about the syntax of writing code, but about the strategy of effectively orchestrating these powerful AI agents to go and solve real business problems.